Well, Dead Cells review is done. Time for another. What we feeling today, guys? I think we'll go with Minecraft Dungeons.
Minecraft, an amazing game for sure, and universally loved worldwide. It was an instant success upon release. Diablo. Minus Diablo Immortal, you are looking at one of the front runners and dungeon crawlers that set a precedence globally for their standard to be set when it came to dungeon crawlers. Now, if you're like me, you probably wondered what would happen if you had Diablo and Minecraft meet in a room and you left them alone for a little while. You'd get this weird love child where it kind of resembles Minecraft, but isn't, and you'd kind of get the game mechanics of a Diablo, but without the game mechanics of Diablo. You'd get Minecraft Dungeons. Hello, I'm Mr.FlatFace, a man of many faces and even more varied opinions. Today I'm bringing you a base game review for Minecraft Dungeons. This spin-off game from Minecraft brings dungeon crawling and loot gathering together in one game set in everyone's favorite pixelated cube world. Though it remains to be seen if this combination plays well into each other, can Minecraft and Diablo make a good combination? Let's find out.
It was a time of great adventure and danger. Shunned by his kin, an illager wanders the land, seeking a new home. But all he found was hatred. Driven by rage against those who wronged him, he wandered blind to whatever end. Until at long last, the illager found something that would change him forever. The Orb of Dominance. Corrupted by evil, driven by vengeance, the arch-illager made all bow before him. And if they did not bow, they would fall. The illagers raided the land. Who would have the valor, the purity of heart, to stand against the arch-illager's reign of terror? Well, not that one. But maybe you.
We learn at the start of the game through a very well voice acted and very beautiful cutscene that this little illager Archie was driven out of his village and is now searching far and wide for a new home. On Archie's travels, he stumbles across a powerful artifact called the Orb of Dominance. Bum bum bum. The Orb of Dominance grants our little illager powerful abilities, all while he becomes corrupted. Archie, using his newfound powers, seeks out vengeance against those who have wronged him. Archie gives his enemies the choice: join him or be destroyed. Alright, you got me in the beginning, Minecraft Dungeons. I will not lie, this sounds very interesting. To be honest with you, I'm very excited for what the future holds. Here is where we, the player, enter. We, the player, are tasked with stopping Archie. Simple enough task. You get to pick our skin. We went with default Steve, because if you don't, are you even playing Minecraft? And off you go, on your dungeon crawling adventure. So, let's go. The core game mechanics in Minecraft Dungeons is dungeon crawling. Working your way through mobs and caverns, through secret tunnels, as well as through villages with sprawling areas. So how did they do with this very crucial game mechanic? I would say pretty damn good. Graphically, it's very good looking. They managed to give us the classic Minecraft look with a modern feel. They kept the nostalgia of the Minecraft that we all grew up loving, but sharpened it up, just crisped it up. The ambient noise is also incredibly well done. I'm Mr.FlatFace, run hot, so I play with a fan pointed at my gaming studio. There was a few times when the audio for the win was just right, and with my fan I actually thought I was in the forested area of Squid Coast. Though here is where we will have our first issues. Unfortunately, it starts now. Now, this may seem a little nitpicky, but we've all grown up with Minecraft for years. From childhood to adulthood, we have had Minecraft. So there are certain rules that are set in stone. What is the one thing that we as Minecraft players know for sure? Do not mine straight down. Yes, but no. That during the day, zombies and skeletons burn and hide. We have learned this as a player for over a decade. But in Minecraft Dungeons, it immediately asks you to suspend your belief of this set in stone lore for the sake of you need to fight something in this game. Now, there is an incredibly simple solution for this. All they had to do was, in the opening cutscene, have said with his new powers, Archie's made it so mobs that terrified the villagers at night would be out during the day. So no enemy of Archie was safe at any time. Boom, easy fix. Then me, being me, would be able to get past this egregious oversight. We all know mobs burn in the day. In this game, they don't. So just get used to it because they're going to be there the entire time. Well, let's move on from nitpicking, okay?
Minions. They sweep across the land like a ravenous scourge, subjugating or destroying all in their path. This is a time for heroes like yourself. Make haste. The villagers have need of you.
We start our journey on the Squid Coast and have to work our way through the villages that have been ransacked by the evil army of Archie. This entire level is basically a tutorial without being a tutorial. You learn to explore areas. Though it is very linear, there is also secrets to discover. You also learn that you can shoot enemies out of sniper towers. This is actually a really cool game mechanic, and I really thought it would be in more of the game. Like, just imagine attacking a fortified position and taking out the archers in the towers, working your way through the armored zombies at the door. Then once inside this fortified structure, you're fighting off hordes of enemies. At last, my brain gave me too much credit. You will literally never see the skeletons in towers again. Well, not in the base game, that is. Maybe in the DLCs. After working our way through the Squid Coast level, you will arrive at the structure where Archie flies out of nowhere to taunt you and then blocks your exit and spawns in enemies for you to fight in a wave-based combat. Once completed, your path unlocks and off you go to complete your journey and go back to camp. Sadly, you have seen most of the pinnacle of the combat in Minecraft Dungeons. It doesn't really go up from here, ladies and gentlemen. The way Minecraft Dungeons works is off your power level. Power level is determined by your gear level and your total level. You get better gear by killing mobs and having it drop, opening chests, or by freeing villagers that will then sell you gear back at your camp. There's also tiers to your gear. You got common, rare, and unique. This can be a new bow or a sword, maybe a lance, or even daggers. You also get armor that I personally thought looked really cool and unique. I have an absolute weakness for customization in games, so the more I get and the cooler I can make my character, the better and happier I am. The amount of weapons and gear is actually nice and makes me think how good Minecraft PvP servers would be if all these weapons could be made in Minecraft proper, in the real game of Minecraft. After acquiring your gear, you can put enchantments on your gear. The rarer your gear, the more enchantments you can put on. You can do this for all your gear, but it's very expensive. And don't be afraid to enchant. When you get better gear, just salvage your old gear and use the blacksmith, and you can get your enchantment tokens back to put on your new piece of gear. This is a really nice feature because you don't feel like you're constantly losing a valuable part of the game. After you pick your base gear, you get 4 consumable and or magic slots. Well, truth be told, it's actually about 3, as one of them is just healing potions. These can be magic or the ability to summon in entities to help you fight, or even amulets to help increase your defense or even heal you. These are really cool features. The entity thing was probably my favorite thing. Everyone gets a dog in Minecraft and brings it around as you go adventuring throughout the world that you're creating. And I also did that in this game. I got my dog companion and I brought him around till he no longer could function because he was too low level. And this once again made me think how great Minecraft PvP would be if the same sort of mechanics and gear and customization was brought to Minecraft proper into a proper Minecraft server. I do know servers like this exist, but most of the time they're pay to win. I'm talking just a genuine Minecraft experience with these game mechanics. Just not this game. You also get better gear from the difficulty you play your game through. Each level has its own difficulty. You can go up or down. The harder the level is the better the gear you can get. Some of the levels on your first playthrough have been played at a base starting difficulty and get harder from there. Now, I never had to adjust my difficulty until the very last level, and we'll see why in a bit. But the growth rate was fine until then. And it's not that the game gets harder, it's just the enemies get more health. We'll talk about that in a minute. In Minecraft Dungeons, harder does not mean harder. It simply means more enemies with more health and more damage, while your stats all stay the same. I do not like this when games think more health is a difficulty setting. When I'm fighting a red stone golem, adding more health does nothing other than drag out this already incredibly boring fight with me just having to stand right in front of him and hit him. Here is where I think the game could have really benefited from the skeleton thing from the Squid Coast. I was always taught as a child that a criticism without a solution is just complaining, and no one wants to hear complaining. So, my solution to the mundane combat within Minecraft Dungeons is actually quite simple. What if harder doesn't just mean more health? It actually meant you had to be strategic in how you took the fight. Take the Obsidian Pinnacle, for example, the final level in the game. You are assaulting Archie's castle. This is the build-up to the final fight that you've been working towards for 4 hours, because yes, this game's only 4 hours, right? And instead of just going room to room, doing the rinse and repeat, kill all the mobs and move on to the next room gameplay you've been doing, you instead had to be strategic. You had to use your bow to take out all the archers on the ramparts, you know, picking them off one by one. Then you get to the group of enemies hidden behind the fortified wall, and you pick out the mages so they can't buff the bigger shielded guys. Then you aggro the shielded guys out of the wall so you can deal with them one-on-one or two-on-one, and instead of being surrounded by millions of little guys, right? Once they're done, you go in with your big sweeping attacks and you take out all the little guys, capturing each fortified location as you push your way through the castle. This sounds incredibly more fun to me than the rinse and repeat gameplay that we've been already doing for the last 4 hours. This sounds way better, and it actually makes sense to make this the difficulty setting rather than just making the mobs have more health and keeping your stats the same. That's my solution. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments down below. Even after that little rant that we just went on, that is not even the biggest issue in the difficulty setting. You can get so used to the mundane combat and the rhythmic clicking of your buttons and the constant sounds of skeletons dying while zombies groan off in the distance that you will arrive at a boss and have an absolutely jarring experience in the combat, immersion, breaking difficulty spikes. Let's take the boss, the nameless one. A boss you fight pretty early in the game. You went from skeletons with arrows and zombies with swords to this giant magic slinging boss that you have never encountered before, all while fighting off hordes of mobs at the same time. It's super jarring, and don't get me started on the final fight with Archie. You go from casual gameplay to out of nowhere sweaty and dodge rolling Elden Ring level mechanics. You went from Minecraft to goddamn Dark Souls in seconds. Now, I'm actually not saying this is a bad thing. It's actually quite the opposite. This is actually a really good mechanic. To be honest, if more of the enemies that you met out in the overworld, instead of in these dungeon boss rooms, were there, and you could learn these mechanics and experience them more in the game, it would actually probably be a lot better. I'd be more happy, to be honest. It would take a lot of the monotony of the game out, because after the first few missions, I actually found I was playing with the map covering my screen, so I could search everywhere for chests. If your game can be played with a map covering the screen, that is not a good sign. That means your combat is super boring because I don't even have to pay attention to it. And then all of a sudden I do, and it's super jarring, right? But how is the story? Here's the real test.
A coven of wicked witches live at the heart of the sinister swamp. They conjure up all manner of brews to empower the arch-illager and his ever-growing army. If you don't find and defeat those witches, the illagers will be unstoppable. But tread carefully. The swamp is home to many horrors.
There is a story within Minecraft Dungeons. It is very poorly done and is actually incredibly short, and it's almost insulting how little effort they put into the story. The story itself is basically Archie got the power, and you go through each level stopping Archie from doing his thing. It basically equates to Archie did this bad thing, go stop him. And at the end of the level, you get another cutscene saying, hey, you stopped that thing that Archie did. It is done this way so you can play the levels after in any order you want, and they will kind of make sense. It's very nondescript, and it's very much just, he did bad, go stop him. Within the levels, you don't get any sort of world building. You don't find lore, you don't talk to NPCs, you don't see things going on within the world. There's nothing to further build your immersion in this game. It is simply go through the level, killing mobs, and that's it. Find gear and move on. Now, it's pretty sad that in a game that is developed now in modern times can't compete with a game that was built for computers back in like the early 2000s. A game where you literally were dropped into this block world with no story at all. We, the players, have put more story and more immersion within empty Minecraft worlds than this game came to offer. And that's where we come to what this game really is about. This game isn't about the story. It's about selling you DLCs and microtransactions and a battle pass. So we're going to look at that because that's basically all this is a vessel to make you spend money. That's what it is. Here at the Mr.FlatFace channel, we have to inspect the microtransaction stores, as we are firm believers that microtransaction stores are bad for games. Microtransactions in general are bad for games. We'll check to see if they're intrusive, immersion breaking, or flat out ripoffs. The microtransaction store in Minecraft Dungeons isn't intrusive at all. At no point during my playthrough did it say, hey, go do this, and at no point was there a paywall or a time gate or a life thing like in other games of the same thing. Diablo Immortal, we're looking at you. It didn't actually come up at all. And because I played through each level by myself, it never was like, oh, I see this guy with this super cool item. I want that. How'd you get it? Go buy it at the store. That was super nice. You know, you can have a store and not have it be intrusive. In fact, I didn't even know it existed until writing this review and going through the different game mechanics. But here's the thing. I don't think that Minecraft Dungeons needs a store. It doesn't offer you enough to warrant a store. A microtransaction store should be there to enhance your gaming experience, not to sell you things that should be in your gaming experience. All I'm seeing when I look at this battle pass is items that should have been in the game and items that players would have grinded for. I am a big believer in customization, and I love looter shooters and looter games. So I would have spent more time looting in this game instead of buying things. I would rather do that. It's actually very simple. Don't have a battle pass if you're not going to offer the content. Don't have a microtransaction store if you're not going to put extra content in the game. I shouldn't feel like the actual content is hidden behind a paywall. Now, in Minecraft Dungeons, I feel like they hid a lot of things behind DLCs because the actual game is only 4 hours long, and that's appalling. Then there is a bunch of DLCs to buy, a battle pass, and microtransactions. These are all things I think should have been in the game to begin with. Now, some games can have battle passes and DLCs and stuff like that when it enhances the gamer's experience, not when it seems like it should have been in the game all along. And that's the impression I am getting from this microtransaction store. This is all content that they ripped out of the game to sell back to you later. I also want to point out that the literal point of a dungeon crawler is to keep playing to find better gear and loot. So locking any gear or loot behind a battle pass or in a microtransaction store literally cheapens the experience of your dungeon crawling game. With that being said, I think it's time for our conclusion on Minecraft Dungeons. In conclusion, I think Minecraft Dungeons is a competent game lacking the fundamentals of being a great game. Though I can already see the comments. Mr.FlatFace is not that deep, bro. It's a kid's game, and you are a full-grown, faceless man playing it. True. But the reason I decided to do a playthrough and a review of this game was based off of intrigue. I had bought Minecraft Dungeons for my 3 faceless children. As it's a family favorite here in the household, we all like to sit down and play Minecraft together. And I thought it'd be a nice new adventure, as we all enjoyed Minecraft stories so much. So I brought the game home, and I gave it to my faceless children, who, in emotionless excitement, popped it into the console. After installing and loading in, they started to play, and after about an hour, they were playing the original Minecraft again. Minecraft Dungeons has never been played by them again, and we now know why. Minecraft Dungeons tried to mash 2 totally different worlds together, where Minecraft told you your story through what you built and did, and Minecraft Stories told a detailed choose-your-adventure journey that expanded the Minecraft lore and world, all while keeping their own identities. Minecraft Dungeons does neither of these things. It tries to cash in on the genre with titans like Diablo and Path of Exiles, and does it with little to offer in a way of uniqueness other than its IP. To be clear, I do not hate Minecraft Dungeons, and maybe with the DLC it fixes some of these issues. I just wish I had had more of the charm of Minecraft rather than the monotony of Minecraft Dungeons. That's why I'm giving Minecraft Dungeons a 6 out of 10. Minecraft Dungeons is slightly above average for me personally. As I said with the DLC, it might fix some of these issues, but for me, Minecraft Dungeons feels like a shell of an emotionless, empty game, trying to mash two identities into one, all while trying to sell you the actual part of the dungeon crawling experience in a store. So I want to go off script for a second here, and I'm just going to do something a little interesting. We're going to interview one of my children about this game so we can get their opinion. We're going to introduce Mr.FlatFace's child, FlatFace Games. All right, FlatFace Games. What did you think of Minecraft Dungeons?
Interesting.
But what about the actual gameplay?
Kind of interesting.
Was the combat fun? Did you find the combat good?
Too easy.
What do you mean by that?
You could one-shot the mobs.
And what did you think about the story?
I honestly don't remember it because it was so boring.
Did you enjoy the looting system in the game when you found weapons on the ground?
Not good because you'd get the best weapons in the whole entire game and then it would be super boring.
Well, there you have it. That's an opinion from an actual child that played this game. The game was boring and also interesting for 10 seconds. But let's ask, would you prefer to play Minecraft or Minecraft Dungeons?
Minecraft.
So out of the words of a flat-faced child, you get the same impression I got throughout the whole game, which was that I just wanted to play Minecraft. That's all I kept thinking when I was playing Minecraft Dungeons, is that I would rather play Minecraft. It does nothing for me, and it doesn't do anything for children either. So I really kind of struggle, like this game does, with the identity and who it's for. I'm sure there's going to be a group of people out there that say it's amazing, but I personally feel that Minecraft Dungeons is average at best. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed your time here with me, Mr. FlatFace, the man of many faces and even more opinions. If you enjoyed Minecraft Dungeons, that is okay. All reviews are just opinions and are biased to the person who wrote them. And people just like different things. If you would like me to review the DLC, let me know by hitting the like button and maybe consider subscribing. Do you have a different opinion than me or think I missed something? Let me know in the comments. Until the next video, I have to go draw on my eyebrows. I hope you have a good day.